Good morning, good afternoon, good evening everybody watching FUTV Live the 8th of April. Welcome along to your Manchester United update on everything going around the club right now. This morning we're hitting into the news of Manchester United and Christopher Vivell in particular raiding PSG's top talent. More on that and the details of that, very interesting as well. We have a mega bid in for Antony. Whether you want to believe it or not, I will tell you all the same, then you can make of it in the live chat and in the comment section what you think as well. A Sancho surprise. Yeah, I know, we don't like mentioning the name, but there's maybe a twist in his destination coming into the new season and an impact it could make on a Manchester United target in a key position for us coming the other way. I'll talk about that in a moment as well. A Delap update as well, as another journalist confirms that Delap is United's top striker transfer target, and a little bit of a bonus involved in that deal as well. Also, we've got all of the other transfer news as well that is floating around just to keep you completely up to date, and you can decipher which of it is crap and which of it is not. Of course, you're intelligent enough. You know I'm laying out the news for you. I like to give you the nitty-gritty and the detail as well in some not so much talked about news, which is probably why I wanted to start with the PSG information this morning regarding Christopher Vivell's attempts at raiding PSG's academy. Now, the information on this is very, very clear and very obvious, and is more concrete than any of the other news that we're going to talk about in this show. I can 100% guarantee it. Why, you may ask? Well, obviously, because Manchester United, we know, are on a mission to develop and restructure Manchester United's academy and recruitment team at the same time. Now, coincided with that is the mastermind, which is Christopher Vivell, one of the best, well, not so much scouts, but best in the know and recruitment agents that there is out there, really. And he is head of Manchester United's recruitment team right now. And it is thought that Manchester United are already in conversations with three top talents coming out of PSG's academy, one of which has already made his first team debut. Two 18-year-olds and a 17-year-old. Now, I know. And by the way, we will touch on Chido smashing in a double last night in the under-21s. Yes, interesting and good on that side of things. And his best goal so far for United, by the way. We'll talk about that while we're on the academy front. But PSG's academy is known and does have a pool of talent in it. But with Enrique pushing for obvious major honours, there isn't much room or pathway for these players that are developing at the ages of just 18 to get into the first team squad. Now, we're only talking about this because we know about it and we have already done it under United, and this is probably something that will happen. Whether or not we get all three is a different story. Now, you've already heard of Umar Kamara. That has been reported and talked about quite a bit on social media, and a few other accounts have run with them stories as well online. But Umar Kamara is a right-left winger who is absolute mustard, according to the reports and the scouts anyway. And what he has done so far, he scored goals from both sides. He's very versatile, very energetic. Contract ends this season. 17-year-old United are well and truly in and have scouted for a while. There are two other players. Axel Tappe is a centre-back, 18-year-old, who has made his first team debut under Enrique this season. He has impressed Manchester United in the Ajax Cup, which they seen him play against them in when they went with United's under-18s to that competition. It is, for us right now, our best opportunity to bring in some of the best young talent going and around, because there is such a restructure going on at Manchester United. Axel is one of them players that United are looking at as well. Of course, again, another free transfer. Manchester United are not paying for these players, so why wouldn't you would add? And of course, you want the more concrete, the news of the players coming through into Manchester United's first team. But did we not just have the same scenario with Aiden Heaven at Manchester United? And look what we're all talking about right now. These 17 and 18-year-olds are the ones that Manchester United are looking at elsewhere. And if there's an opportunity for these players to break in, like Aiden Heaven has, because let's be fair, if Aiden Heaven does contribute now to Manchester United's first team from now until the end of the season, and then starts a few games next season, what is his value? It'd be one of these players that United are looking at about 20-25 million that we're looking at this summer, except we've already got him in the club. So maybe going into not next season, the season after, one of 3 of these players, or the other young players that are all coming into Manchester United, it would seem, could be popping up onto the first team sheet as well, saving the club a fortune and obviously making us look like we know what we're doing again. And we're all for finding this younger talent, I'm sure. One more player on there is Mamadou Sangare as well. He's another forward, a centre forward, who's got 10 and 11 this season in the under-19s, but swapping around from different levels of academy again. But again, obviously, goal-a-game academy striker who is supposed to be absolutely awesome. Prolific is the word on the reports that I have read through last night and this morning on this striker. 18. Now, that's not a young striker. That's a player that if you're bringing in, you're expecting to have scouted well and making the effort to look into everything that he is and bringing him in an eye for what? Not just to put into the under-21 squad, someone that you might actually use. Now, obviously, we've got our own players and our own strikers coming through as well, but is this a player, well, you have to ask the question because we don't know. Is this a player that we can trust in Christopher Vivell and Jason Wilcox is bringing in, has recruited and scouted, is ready to rock and come into Man United's first team? I doubt it. I doubt it is my honest answer in this. But it's another player that could, amongst a few, because let's be honest, we cannot put all our eggs in one Chido basket or one Biancheri basket or a Scanlon or the players that we've got. As good as they are, and they are fantastic, and we have got a lot to look forward to, there's a chance that one of them might not make it. You'd rather have 4 or 5 coming through and maybe 1 or 2 survive and make it. That's the point of the academy. But then, also, with them being brought in at an early age, United could add value to them and sell them on later down the line. There is a business model involved in this as well. And obviously, we want to be talking, like I said earlier on, about other news, about players coming in for United next season. Look where we are in the league. We need to be competing, but we do have to talk about the foundation of Manchester United. And that's what I do like to do as well, just to make sure that everybody's up to date with what's going on and who these players might actually be. All 3 of these teenagers in Axel Tape, Mamadou Sangare and Omar Kamara are all out of contract and could just come across to Manchester United. Now, there may be the academy fees like we might have had to pay for Aiden Heaven and Chido involved in this. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is, for certain, of all of the reports is they are not signing new deals at PSG, and everybody in Europe is in for them. It's not just Manchester United. So that straight away should get the alarm bells ringing and say, well, if other clubs are in for these players, why are United not in for them? We are. Vivell is all over this. In particular, Umar Kamara, like we've spoken about before, but the centre-back as well, Axel Tape, because we're looking at him after what we've seen and what he's done against us already in other competitions. And Sangare is seen as one of the most prolific strikers in the French academy leagues right now, at the under-19 level in particular, that he is seen as one of the best out there right now. Like I said, goal-a-game average for him at that level. Unproven, yes, and obviously you're not going to know, but Manchester United are again just going into the academy side of things and making sure. And you remember what Ruben Amorim said in his interview with Sky about finding these younger players that are out of contract. It all leads into the same thing. It all leads into something that is definitely happening. So this isn't absolute BS news. This is something that is genuinely happening right now at Manchester United, and these players could actually be in Man United's squad or even part of the tour or the pre-season, of which you can see going across the bottom of your screen this morning just to keep you up to date. Manchester United have announced their pre-season tour of Asia. It has been brought up to date by. Let me just see where it was now. Yeah, let's just bring up the details of it. Bear with me a second. Just so you're completely up to date on it. Bear with me a second. Yeah, Manchester United confirmed 2-game post-season tour of the Far East. They will play Agent All-Stars in Kuala Lumpur on May 28th. And Hong Kong, China in HQ on May 30th. So an extra 2 games right after the season finishes. So United's season, effectively, the players won't be finishing until after the 30th of May. So, yes, 2 friendlies, bang, bang, away we go. Crazy, isn't it? But yes, that is Manchester United's schedule. That is everything that's going on with Manchester United right now. And what you've got to look at there is, again, another chance to possibly see some of these younger players. We may have the opportunity to, do you know what? yeah, we've got to take a few first-team players. I'm sure that will be part of the deal. But you could have a few younger players there from our own academy going on into these games and giving a chance. And so that will be really interesting to see how United approach that tour. But again, yeah, another money spinner, of course, but an opportunity is how I look at it with the younger players at Manchester United. We will come into the comments section in a minute, but just to round up on the academy players coming out of PSG, again, just wanted to reiterate that this is genuine news from Manchester United. This is real, and Christopher Vivell, again, in everything that he's doing behind the scenes right now, is really securing a better future for Manchester United, it would seem. Looking ahead, no more quick fixes. And everybody is moaning and talking about the experienced players that we need. And you know what? I've done it as well. I'm not going to hide away from this. But what we do need to recognise what is going on as well is that we have been down the road of ready-made quick fix players before. Now, we're not talking about the Cavani's, the Falcaos, the Ibrahimovic, and obviously Schweinsteiger and all of these type of players that are at the end of their careers. We're talking about proper transfers and what United need. 25-year-old to 27-year-olds in their prime players that can come in and improve United instantly. That's what we're talking about. But what we have to remember here is we weren't doing any of this. None of the academy players and none of the academy recruitment was anywhere near as good as what it is now under Christopher Vivell. You could argue the fact that we did bring in Garnacho, and in the latter stages before the takeover and the new ownership model coming in, there were some brighter signs amongst the academy setup and what they were doing, with Nick Cox coming in and making a big point about changing things up, and they've done well. But this now, I think, we just need to recognise as a major step forward in United's recruitment side of things. And the future of the football club definitely looking a lot brighter for United. It's a lot of players and there's a lot of talent coming through. But if you maybe take 3 or 4 out of a bunch of 20, maybe even 1 out of the 20 that is a first team regular, you've done your job. And that's what the recruitment team is looking into. And I think this is where Manchester United's future lies right now. If we are going to be profitable, United are going to have to be very, very delicate when it comes to the transfer market. And I think there will be an example of that this summer. But I think we can expect a lot of younger players to come into Manchester United. And there'll be real value for money in what Manchester United do this summer. And then that's what I'm going to talk about next. But first of all, in terms of the academy side of things, let's just get some general sort of conversation going on this and these players coming from PSG. Are you excited at this? You don't have to come up and say that you know the players or anything like that, but get your comments in on the approach from Manchester United. Before we move on to the other stuff, we will have your chance to have your say on players we need to bring in, but please do just comment on what you feel Manchester United are doing right now with this approach, with the likes of what we've done. Coney, Chido, Heaven, now these players. We talked about the Greek young players as well that could possibly come in, the Argentinian young players that could possibly come in. I could make you a squad of teenagers that United have been linked with right now and do a separate video on it. And we can go through all of that. But I think there is a real push from the football club now to change what Manchester United was. So let's get into the comments on this. Seems like the club dusted off Jimmy Murphy's notebook. We need more experience in that team to get anywhere. Anywhere history proves that. To get anywhere history proves that. Oh no, it does, mate. It does. Adam, it's all looks and sounds great, but we did do this at bigger prices for Hannibal and Noah Amaran. Not sure spelt correct before, just saying in terms of how you said that. Yeah, no, we didn't. We did do this before, but we didn't. We are not spending that stupid amount of money. Well, we could have brought Hannibal in for a cheaper price, but we spent a load of money on him because that's how poor Manchester United were being run at the time. And this is the point I was making about that video the other day I was making, how Manchester United's academy failed before, but now is really taking a step forward and changing how Manchester United actually approach players and what we do to filter in these young talents into the first team. And if them players come in to Manchester United, nobody's going to be moaning and bitching them out. Like I just said it before, like I understand we need experience, but who has really got an issue with Aiden Heaven and what he's done? Has anybody got a problem with the likes of Toby Collier coming through Manchester United right now and what he's doing? Nobody was moaning when Kobe came through the ranks or Garnacho came through the ranks. These were stars Manchester United looked at. Obviously, it hasn't gone according to plan. And things could have gone a little bit better. Yes, I get it. But I think what hasn't helped Manchester United is the carnage which has been the structure of the football club, i.e. the players on stupid amounts of money that they've not been able to move on, and then buying more players on more money, all completely mixing up into Manchester United's squad and not giving these younger lads a chance. Now look, we're about to let go of several first team players where all of a sudden there is a clear pathway through into the first team for some of these players, and you just don't know. Before, we never would have known because there was no chance of them getting into Man United's first team squad. And now we can actually see spaces opening up and real chance and opportunity of some of these academy lads getting into Man United's side. And if there's more of them competing, knowing, then they're all going to be upping their game and making that mark. It's like Chido has just had an absolute shocker of a semi-final. He's been on the bench and not featured for Man United. Down in the dumps, crap week for Chido. Let's be honest. And be brutally honest about it. He wasn't great against Villa in that FA Youth Cup semi-final. So what does he do? Lick his wounds, fall away? No. Competition is fierce at Manchester United. He goes into the under-21s last night. Yeah, 17-year-old in the under-21s. Let's not forget that. 4 years advanced. You see where I'm going with that? Bang. Scores 2 goals for the under-21s. Brilliant. And this is a lad that were brought in that has only played under-18s. And he's the one who holds all of the records for under-18 level. So what was his answer? Not looking good in the under-18s. Goes into the under-21s. They threw the game away last night with some mistakes in the last 10 minutes. But Chido scored an absolute pearler of a goal last night. You have to watch it back. I think there's a few clips of it where he picks it up just in the opposition half, turns his defender, holds him off, and the sprints to the goal, cuts inside and unleashes an absolute thunderbolt into the bottom corner. That's the response that you want from academy players. Why? Because he knows that Biancheri is knocking on the door. He knows that Scanlon and all of these other quality players coming in are knocking on the door. He knows that United are going to do exactly the same thing they did with him last summer and bring in other talent this summer as well to compete. Now, they can fall away and they can just fall into the trap of playing comfortable football in the under-21s, or they can take their opportunity. And that, I think, and the response from Chido last night, and credit to him, massive credit to him last night. By the way, Morehouse as well last night. Oh, dear God, wow. These players just keep on going. And don't forget, Chido wasn't part of that 13-1 win, that record win. You've got JJ Gabriel coming through at 14. You've got Musa scoring a double hat-trick. He had a poor game in that semi-final. Musa didn't even get on the pitch in the under-18 semi-final. Musa then goes out while Chido's at in the first team squad and goes and scores a double hat-trick while Chido's not playing. Chido steps up to the mark in the under-21s and scores a brace last night, and a brilliant brace. It's like, bang, okay, you do that, I'm doing this. Competition all the way up. And the more of them players there are at United, the better chance we've got of, like I said, 1 or 2 of them just breaking on the scene and knocking on the door of Ruben Amorim's office and saying, I need a chance in this team. They can see a pathway. And what United are developing behind the scenes is something that wasn't there before. And why these players are all coming to United. First team action and a possibility of making it. Because it can happen. We've seen it. You look at what Barcelona do. Didn't work. Went right back to their academy and started promoting some of their own players. That's where Yamal came through. That's where Pedri came through. After the debacle of shocking seasons at Barcelona, they dipped into an academy. They trusted in their system. I don't think United have had a system to trust that much. And I think this is where it's all changing right now. But that's the update on the academy player side of things in terms of the players that are actually coming in. A couple more comments on this quickly. Fred says, we're assembling a future squad, so the big question is, when are they going to integrate and given their opportunity? Well, I think, like, you look at this right now, just the opportunity factor. Lindelof, Evans, Heaton, all out the door. Eriksson, all out the door. 4 first-team players. Room for an academy goalkeeper and room for 3 more players coming in. Heaven has taken this opportunity now and automatically taken one of the centre-back berths which Lindelof and Evans are leaving behind. You look at Harry Maguire next season, gone. You look at Casemiro next season, definitely gone. Anyone else? Antony and Rashford, they're both already out of the door this summer as well. Jadon Sancho, you look at the squad size, it's starting to shrink. And you're looking at it and you're going, hang on a minute. And let's not forget as well, with these players coming through, and for instance, I look at Ibrahimov in United's academy, 16, and what's he looking at? Maybe in a couple of years' time, he's going to be like, I should be getting in this Man United first team. In a couple of years' time, Bruno Fernandes' contract is up. This is what I'm saying. Now we're getting them in younger, we're getting them in at the right age, in the right position, in the right areas. You look at Mantato, he had an outstanding game. Goal and assist last night. Again, on that right-hand side. Right wing-back. We've got a player there, honestly, serious talent in our own pool of academy players. And you're adding to this for nothing? Yes. Yes, indeed. And you know what? This is why I think Ruben Amorim is looking at one or two big players. I think that's where he's going. I think one or two big players this summer could definitely change Manchester United's outlook completely. For instance, you could have a Mantato coming through and being on the right wing back. You could go out and buy Fernandes. I think we can buy 3. I think we can get a 10, a 9 and a right wing back if Amorim wants them players. I also think we can get a goalkeeper. We've already got one coming back in VTech anyway, but I think there are definite areas there. I think the rest, and I said this last night, do not disregard Sekou Kone coming through into Manchester United's midfield. Morehouse coming through into Man United's team as well. And everybody else who we already know about. Look, we're not even mentioning players that scored hat-tricks this weekend in Man United's under-18s. I did just mention Musa, but that was because of the Chido factor. But Chido's ahead of him. And then you've got the 14-year-old JJ Gabriel coming through as well. Look, I could go on forever and a day and just bring up the massive positive of Man United's academy. I do need to move on, though. I've got a little bit carried away with myself. They're getting a little bit excited. You know what I'm like? I do fight against the negative all of the time as best as I can. But, yeah, if you do like the content, please do give the video a like as well, by the way. How the hell did I go on for 21 minutes about the academy side of things? Sorry, but at least you can say I'm showing my passion and I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve with this football club. I am what I am, and I'm glad you're all in the chat actually giving your feedback on it as well. United are always eyeing, but never blinking first. In terms of eyeing, not in terms of the academy players. We've seen action, Black Sheep. We've seen the likes of Chido come through, Kone come through, Leon brought in, Heaven brought in. You cannot say that we're not acting on this level. Now, into the major news and the bigger transfers, Black Sheep, I'm with you. And everybody else, I think, has been waiting for this bit. And this is the next stage of this video, which is what's happening with the now. And the now is that Manchester United, apparently, and you can see it. There's a tweet at the bottom of your screen. I ignored it last night. Kaz said to me this morning, have you seen this? And I'm like, I can't. That's not real. That is not real. And then another source came out with it. And I'm like, Sports Joe now is saying it as well. And I'm like, okay, right, let's just mention it. But the deal on it is, and you tell me, can you actually see this happening? But you know what? In Spain, and one thing I will, from my own personal experience, will say is, if I'm just going to bring up the 2 Seville clubs because I've been to Betis away, I've been to Seville away, and the fan base, oh my God, they that is their 12th man, and it's a big cliche, I know, and I know what I'm saying, but wow, if they cling on to a player, they leech onto that player, and they are holding the club to ransom to make something happen. And their fan support base is absolutely passionate. I've been to Atletico Madrid away as well. I've seen what they're all about. I've been to all of these clubs. And the story is about Antony, of course. Atletico Madrid could offer Manchester United €75 million. I say it with a laugh behind my breath. Package for him to sign permanently would be €45 million up front, with add-ons potentially reaching €30 million. I think that is a fantastic deal. Now, it's $75 million if Antony reaches the peak. I did mention the Seville clubs, Betis and Seville there, obviously. Anyone who doesn't understand, Betis are in Seville, obviously. They're their local rivals. But what we're looking at there is Simeone, that passionate Atletico Madrid fan. That's the type of player that would feed off. Antony would feed off that type of crowd. And you can see him now. He's a passion merchant. And you know that. and it brings out the best in him. You just don't get that at United. You get critique, you get expectation, you get needing results, and pressure mounts and mounts and mounts, and some players just melt. And I think Antony did. He wasn't expecting it. But over there, it's a different story altogether. 45 million euros up front, you take it all day long. What you there? You just under around about 40 million, just under 40 million. That's a deal that United would accept. And then there's 30 million on top of that. That's Atletico's apparently approach to try and beat the likes of Real Betis and other people bidding for Antony, because there is a couple of offers coming in apparently from Italy as well, namely one being Juventus, who are keeping an eye on him. Antony belongs in La Liga. I think it's perfect for him. And if he can go to Atletico Madrid, if Simeone wants him, and we've said this all along that Atleti have been in for Antony, and he has been one of them players that Simeone has looked at, then Antony, 45 million up front, and then if he hits the mark, we can get more money from that. There's no way that United would turn that deal down. And the thing is, I look at this and I say, look, Atleti are competing and Betis are climbing. And this is where I look at this story and went, okay, I can run with this in a way because there is substance to it. Betis are challenging them top 4 teams right now. They are climbing the league. They just got a draw with Barcelona this weekend. I think Simeone obviously is looking at this as well. They can obviously take away a player and take something away from one of their rivals in this as well. And you can say I'm digging deep into it and everything like that, but I always like to add context to it. And looking at the situation right now in the Liga, yes, Betis dropped a little bit of ground, but they did draw with Barcelona. I mean, it's quite creditable on its own as well. And they are looking now to push on in the last few games to challenge for the Champions League places, Real Betis. But to see what Antony's impact has been, I think is why Simeone might be looking at the Antony deal. But to look at it and you go 75 million, forget it. But look at the actual breakdown of the bid. It makes complete sense. They are beating a rival. The add-ons might not be easy to get, and they're offering the right amount of money up front. And Antony's gone. He's gone. Athletic can afford Antony's wages. That's the difference in this one as well, and why that does actually add some sort of solidarity in the actual genuine nature of this bid. I come across a few different words there, sorry, but you know what I mean anyway. It makes it look a little bit more real. Let's just bring it down into Manc terms. And that, I think, is something that you do need to pay attention to when you're looking at this. So, yeah, when it comes through, and there are bids for Antony going into this summer, and there will be bids for Antony going into this summer, 100%. I talked about Betis, and the only way I think Betis can get Antony is if they're in the Champions League. If they're not, then they're going to offer United another loan and cover all of his wages with a loan fee and do whatever they can. That's what their vice president is talking about. And he said this before. It's the same story as it was a month ago. So there is no news or new news in what was said yesterday from Betis' side on Antony. It's the same story that was there a month ago where the president was saying we're looking to do another loan. He's not changed his mind. If they get the Champions League, which they weren't expecting to do, United get bonuses from Real Betis anyway, and they have to pay more. But then they will possibly be able to, with the Champions League money, which is substantially higher as we know, be able to afford Antony. That is, I think, where United hold all of the cards, and it could really, really pay into Manchester United's favour going into this summer. But that Atletico Madrid, where it looks ludicrous from the outset there, and when you first look at it, I think there is genuine legs in that bid. I think there is genuine movement in that. So let's see how that one develops over. Quickly, Chris Wheeler was dropping some news as we've been live actually regarding this tour. United will leave for the Far East straight after the final game of the season at home to Aston Villa on the 25th of May. So finish the game and on the plane. Understand the club is being paid around 8 million for 2 games on the tour. So them 2 games, United are going to earn 8 million from. Again, doing everything they can to try and give a little bit more money to Ruben Amorim. But 8 million is definitely going to help Manchester United in some of these transfers that they're making. For instance, 8 million could cover all of them young academy players that we're talking about, and Diego Leon's fee that we've already got coming into Manchester United, and possibly another one. And then we can look at the likes of Antony making money for the first team players and everything like that. But yeah, I do need to get into the actual news on everything else that's happening right now. Thank you for all the likes, by the way, everybody. And the super chats, let's just go through them quickly. First of all, Brian, thank you, Brian, mate, on that one. I love the academy chats. I can't get anywhere else. Can't get it anywhere else. No, nobody wants to know about it or care about it. It's all about the doom and gloom and how this football club has been running to the ground. It has. And I'm not going to deny that. But there are always positives. And this, I think, is part of Rome being rebuilt. It doesn't get built in a day. And there are groundworks that need to be put in place and foundations that United need to do to start moving forward again. And I think this is the start of it. Morning, everyone who's coming into the chat. I can see you all dropping your comments in. I have loads to get through in such a short space of time. Whoa, time is flying this morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's just see now. Hello, Lewis, as well. We can't compete. Morgan, I can see quite a few people in the chat there. Okay. Moving on to other news as well. Sancho, what was we talking about with Jadon Sancho? Now, we know the situation with Chelsea. We updated the Romano tweet yesterday where a decision will be made at the end of the season, which was bad news on its own for Manchester United. So, Jadon Sancho, decision from Chelsea is coming at the end of the season. They'll decide whether to pay 25 or 5 million. 5 million to send him back, or 25 million to sell him permanently and stays at Chelsea. Now, apparently Wolves have come into the equation, and there's an idea that Wolves are actually looking to take Jadon Sancho for 25 million if indeed Manchester United do take him back from Chelsea. So that would be 5 million off Chelsea, then 25 million off Wolves, and United make 30 million instead of the 25. All good and well, yes, but I honestly don't see why Wolves would be going for Jadon Sancho. You could add to it the Matheus Cunha news that we brought out yesterday. Is this some sort of make weight and something in the offing? Look, it's all put together, and obviously it's a conspiracy theory and everything like that Sancho could be coming back to United. They get the money there. They've done a deal with Wolves, communicating with his agent already, and I've spoken to him and are ready to pay. But if United get 25 million, or maybe there's no money that needs to exchange at all, Sancho goes to Wolves and Cunha goes to United at a lesser price, maybe United could work a better deal that way. Look, we're talking about it. They're probably looking at every situation as well. But it's just a story that's come around that I read this morning that Wolves could be interested in Jadon Sancho. We know that Matheus Cunha is leaving Wolves, and obviously they're looking for replacements. God help him is all I say. And why they would do it, I do not know. Can they afford his wages? I don't know. I don't think so. But they need someone. And if Sancho is willing to drop down and take less wages, there may be a mud move there. It's either that or he doesn't play at all because he's got one more year left on his deal. So this is the situation. So when everyone looks at the Sancho deal and everyone goes, right, he's just going to get another loan. Can't happen. He isn't going to drop down. He's not going to he's not going to release that wage. He's just going to go for free the next year. Well, he's not going to play for a year. That's the difference as well. Because the one big thing that nobody picks up on deals like this is that Ruben Amorim has already proved that he's not bothered about what a player's earning and what it's wasting, or what it seems like it's wasting. He left Rashford out in the cold for nearly 3 months. 2 and a bit, actually. But you see where I'm going. If Sancho comes back, there's already precedent there to say, look, find a club or you're not going to be playing football at all. And then what's your value worth? You're not going to get anywhere near that wage that you're on right now. And let's be honest, he's still young, Jadon Sancho. And has got what? If he pulls it out, he's got another 5-6 years at the top. He's not going to get any deal that he likes the look of when he's a free agent. He's not going to get anywhere near the money he wants on wages. So whereas you can say players are going to sit on them wages and not do anything because they're on big money, there's only 1 more year left of that. Then what's he going to do? He's not going to end his career, is he? He's going to look for another big deal. And to do that, he's going to need to be at least playing football and playing well. And if he's not playing football at United because no one wanted him, or he's not happy to take a lower wage, then he's stuck for the years after, isn't he, in terms of what he wants. It works for him that he actually gets game time and actually starts proving something on the pitch. And obviously, he knows that he has got to do a lot more after what has happened. It must be sinking into this man's head sooner or later that he's not doing enough. It's got to be. I'm staggered if it isn't. But anyway, let's get the chat open on this one, on everything that we've spoken about so far. Hello, everyone. Thank you for your patience in the live chat as well. I'd do it for 40 million. Anything else, regardless of how difficult they make it, would be a bonus. 40 million on Antony, I think that is that, Roz. Let's just see what else we've got. Dacia Sandero says, "Hi Adam, I am concerned that if we don't win the Europa League, that we will struggle to get any of our targets, relying on who we are as a brand. Will only go so far. Genuine top players will want Champions League." Acuna apparently has said no, he's not bothered about Champions League. Osterman has said he's not bothered about Champions League or European football at all. So, no, I don't think it's the case. If it goes on and we're not in Europe, maybe. But 1 year with big targets and big aspirations, I think United can still get a couple of players in. Morning, getting to the Champions League final and still playing in the same time frame up to the end of May. In terms of Manchester United's tour, I think Carl is talking about there in the chat. I'm excited for the rebuild, says CG. Yeah, I'm excited to see how they approach it. Because there is going to be genuine movement in this window, in and out this summer. So I think that's what's different. And it's just the unknown a little bit, really. With the structure being in for over a year, 18 months now, and being able to really, really properly recruit and scout players, it's going to be really interesting to see. Because we did do a lot of work last summer. And you think right now, even with the 5 players that we brought in, you could add Chido, Kone and Heaven to that right now as well, and Dorgu and everything that's happened. They're all really contributing, and they are taking over the old guard, whichever way. Like, Chido's knocking on the door, Heaven's already through the door, Dorgu's in, and every single player that United bought, barring Xerxes maybe, is featuring a lot so far. And there is a changing of the guard, there really is, with these older players. And be interesting to see who survives. If Chelsea rinse us, we need to avoid doing business with them going forward, full stop. They've rinsed us twice, really, in terms of what Mason Mount and the fee we paid for him, the Jadon Sancho debacle as well. They're embarrassing. Honestly, they're embarrassing. I hope they do get done by UEFA for what's going on with them. Sancho Cunha swap is lovely. It is lovely, mate. I still have my reservation. Don't think it will happen, but is an option there. By the way, what do you think will happen with Jadon Sancho? Just give me a straight comment right in. Stays with Chelsea, 25 million, comes back to United and sold again. What do you reckon is going to happen? Let's see what we've got in the chat here as well. Sancho will run back to Germany before joining Wolves, possibly. Stephen also says, whoever give the mega deals out at Man United needs fired. They already are. Every single one of them have gone. So that tells you everything, doesn't it? When I talk about structure, when I talk about change, when I talk about Manchester United's approach and these foundations that we're building, everything that everybody has bitched and moaned about, quite rightly so as well, about Manchester United, about how this club was run for so many years, everybody involved in that, apart from the Glazers, obviously, but the running of Manchester United, nobody is there. None of them decision makers, the people who gave these deals to these players that we're suffering with right now, is at the club. They've all been fired. So that, I think, is proof again that change is happening. But after 1 year, we have made a couple of mistakes in that year as well, namely Ten Hag, Amorim, and the situation with that. This is why we are where we are this season alone. Next season, even Ruben Amorim in his press conferences is saying exactly the same thing. He's saying that we have to change so much. It has to be so much better. They can see what's necessary and what's needed. And I think we are going to see massive amounts of change going forward. Delap update as well, everybody. Wanted to talk about Liam Delap. Jamie Jackson of The Guardian now as well has joined many others in reporting that he is Manchester United's top target right now. Amorim wanted him at Sporting last season. Wilcox is an admirer. Wilcox has worked with him at his time at Manchester City. It was a big part of taking him to City and developing him through their academy as well. And obviously, he is Premier League proven and the cheapest striker that we're looking at on the market right now. And there is more news regarding Manchester City. They do have a buyback option and a sell-on clause. The sell-on clause is approximately 20% for Manchester City. But the reports coming out today are that they are looking to take that option rather than the buyback. So City are not going to stand in any of the other Premier League teams' way who are looking at Liam Delap. All we're getting is a straightforward fight, what looks like, between Chelsea and Manchester United, like reported yesterday. City are not even interested in taking Delap back and their buy option. The buy option is, by the way, the same as what the transfer fee is now for everybody else. So it's really pointless. It doesn't give City an advantage at all. Their buyback is 40 million. They expected a lot from him with that buyback. It's quite clear. So highly thought of and recommended through Manchester City's academy, it would seem. But the fact that both Wilcox and Amorim are admirers and have got a history with the player definitely tells us that it's looking likely that Liam Delap is wearing a red shirt next season, unless Chelsea do us over and get in before us. There's a lot of work that needs to be done behind the scenes for that. But again, like I said at the top of the show, with the prowess of Vivell, with the prowess of Wilcox and what they're doing and how they're developing Manchester United behind the scenes, I think United do hold a few cards still when it comes to what's actually going on behind the scenes this summer. So, yeah, really good signs looking ahead, I feel. What's this in today's news about United offering 75 million for Gyökeres? Complete and utter garbage, mate, is what that is. I've not heard anything of the sort, Block, I'm afraid. Chelsea will have a buyout for Sancho already. Probably, yes. Surprised if Sancho will be playing plying his trade in the Premier League. He will go to Saudi or Germany, it says Dacia Sandero. And Fred says, forgetting all that's gone on, Sancho or Højlund, guys. Sancho or Højlund, would you say? Doesn't matter. Højlund all day over Sancho, mate. Moving on to the other news as well. And again, I said it yesterday, the situation with Tyler Diblin is one that is definitely one to watch for Manchester United. Now that Southampton have been relegated, there is more news as well coming out regarding Jadon Sancho and what's actually happening, not Jadon Sancho, sorry, with Tyler Diblin and what's actually happening with his transfer this summer. It is that he is now being looked at by Manchester United again, and the report is from football transfer experts Ekrem Kanur. We get quotes off him all of the time. Manchester United are increasingly keen on a potential summer transfer on window sweep for Tyler Diblin. Chelsea and Tottenham are also among a long list of clubs showing an interest for Diblin. Now, I was told yesterday that United, again, with Jason Wilcox driving this and his connection to Southampton, Manchester United have been talking over the last 2 weeks with Southampton over the possible transfer. 40 million gets this deal done for United. That's what they are willing to pay. We've heard the numbers brandished around for Tyler Diblin. They're ludicrous numbers and are not realistic at all. But United are actually still talking to Southampton to see what deal they can structure, whether there is big add-ons as well. Ekrem has also said that Manchester United are understood to be preparing to try offering around 50 million for, yep, here we go, Jarrad Branthwaite. Again, just going through these bits of news at the end of the show to keep you updated in case you've seen them. United feel like after having bids rejected last season, this summer they can go in and offer a similar price and get the Branthwaite deal done. I wouldn't. Not at 50 million anyway. We don't need him. Honestly, don't need him. I like him, and Branthwaite's a good defender, but I'm not spending 50 million of my money on Branthwaite. I think it's ludicrous, to be honest, even if they're even contemplating it. I don't think they are. I really don't think they are. But, look, anything's doable in this transfer window, like we've said. Henry says, in my opinion, let's be realistic. If Sancho and Rashford are sent back, will affect us in the transfer market, Adam. Yep, it will. It just gives us more work to do. Gyökeres will go for 58 million and still think he will. I still think we will sign him. I don't, Chris. I don't. United don't want to spend that much money on a player that's turning 27. That was the report from The Athletic. I kind of agree a little bit with it, although I think it's fine. 58 million for a 27-year-old. I think he's still got 4 or 5 years at the top level. I don't think that's that bad. I think you're investing in the pathway as well there. in bringing through the likes of Højlund and the likes of Obi Martin behind him. And that, I think, is more important. Just so you're aware, if you have just joined us, there is breaking news this morning. Manchester United have announced the post-season tour of Malaysia. You can see the news going across the bottom of your screen right there. In terms of what is happening, Manchester United travel to Kuala Lumpur plus Hong Kong on post-season tour. Games on May 28th and the 30th of May. Omar Barada, tour fixtures drive significant additional revenue which help make the club stronger, allowing us to keep investing in successes on the pitch. Now, what you need to remember with all of this is, as well, the PSR year ends on the 30th of June. Manchester United are squeezing 2 fixtures in on the 28th and 30th of May in preparation for that 30th of June. So they will be paid and they can class and add them revenues. United will be adding 8 million for both of these games. That's what we're being paid for to play these games. 8 million to this financial year's numbers. So 8 million off the back of what we've saved in wages is probably what Manchester United are banking on seeing them through this financial year. Of course, on June 1st, the transfer window opens for some clubs. And obviously then everything can be looked at for the next financial year. So 8 million right on the deadline for Manchester United. I'm guessing there is something to do with that and meeting financial fair play and PSR limits. But 8 million right on the last day, it's not a bad deal, is it? United will fly out right after the Aston Villa game on the 25th of May, which is the last home game and the last game of Manchester United's season. So that is the update from that today in terms of the latest breaking news. United will play 2 games in Malaysia on the 28th and 30th of May, earning 8 million quid for doing so, which, when you think about it, 4 million a game, it's quite a significant sum, to be honest. And obviously, what could you say there? Why don't we just get up a few places in the Premier League and make that sort of money and not have to travel all the way across the world? Well, why don't you get them couple of places up in the Premier League and earn yourself about another 6 to 9 million from the Premier League, and then get another 8 million for going doing this tour, is what I say. But look, at the end of the day, it is a money-making machine. Omar Barada pretty much there in his statement admitting that it just gives the club extra revenues going forward, and it gives them a chance to, obviously, in my opinion, balance the books for PSR. Christina, welcome to the Members Club. Gifted by Fred. Any questions or comments? Get them in now, everybody. I'm coming to the comments section on this one as well. Let's see what else we've got in here right now. Getting pimped out to cover the bills. Yep. Chris says, I just have a strange feeling the striker will be the only signing over 25. Then Højlund and Chido behind him to learn. I hope that's the case, mate. Osimhen and Gyökeres are good, but I'm a bit concerned about how they'll fare in the Prem. No guarantee that Gyökeres will rip up for Arsenal either, so not worried. Delap might fit Amorim profile. If you were told by Ruben Amorim face to face that his top target and what he wanted was Liam Delap, would you accept it? If he comes out and says, I wanted Delap ahead of Gyökeres and Osimhen and Šeško, like we were told yesterday, would you as a United fan accept that? Straightforward answers in the comment section now, please, everybody. Would you be okay with that? I've been watching both Chelsea and Villa, and both players have not impressed me, Adam, in terms of Rashford and Sancho, Henry. I thought they're doing better than what they did at Man United. That's all we can say. Liverpool have made 90 million this year in all competitions. I know. So, in terms of Amorim telling you that he wanted Delap, would you trust in him? Would you accept it? People still saying no. Yes, if that's what the manager wants. Board could have already told him Gyökeres is not an option. Delap, best option available to him. Delap was supposedly scouted by Sporting. Well, Amorim, yep, I did just say that one as well before, Lebo. You're dead right, mate. He was spotted last summer for. He was scouted last summer for Sporting by Amorim. He was ready to bring him in. I'm behind the manager 100%. Sure question. What's he doing once or twice? But on the whole, I trust him totally. Would you believe your gaffer if he said he wants the lap over the others? If he did come out saying that, surely you're calling bull on it. Well, no, because he wanted him before. He was ready to take him in at Sporting. He believes in him. He believes that he fits his system, and the system is everything that we need to be working right now. Ruben Amorim doesn't have individual world-class players. He creates a team that is world-class together, and that's what he did at Sporting. You could argue world-class. It's a bit extreme, I know, but still, he created a team. He didn't have individuals. He brought them all in from the unknown and created a team together, and that's what his strength was. So I am not surprised he's looking at the likes of Liam Delap. And I've said before, I'm right behind Ruben Amorim. 100% behind Ruben Amorim in everything that he does. So if he wants Delap, then I back him on Delap. I think there are better strikers that we need. Personally, yes. But I am going to trust in the manager and give him his time. And that's when I will start judging him after he's brought in his own players. And then we'll see if he's right. And then we can really get into the nitty-gritty of what Ruben Amorim is and what he's all about and whether he is good enough to take Man United forward. I'd accept it if he said it, but I believe he's being told what he can say, like all who went before him. Yeah, but it's different because they've not all gone before him under this same structure. He has been brought in by something new, and this is what we're talking about right now. All before him didn't have what they had above him, and that's the difference, I say, blocking all of this. Delap is a great young striker. He can score goals and his build-up play is very good. He will be very cheap on wages as well for Manchester United. That's what you have to look at. Okay, everybody, that is our show all done and wraps up. Thank you so much. We had well over 1,100 in the room with us there. Thank you so much this morning for your participation in the show, the super chats, all the help from the mods, all the help from the members. Keep your comments flooding in below on all of them subjects. Quite a few talking points from today. Please give the video a like on the way out as well. We're over 250 already. We may even get to that 300 mark if everyone enjoyed the video enough to give it a like. Please do. Subscribe to Forever United TV to have your complete update on everything that's going on around Manchester United. As always, I've got you covered, everybody. And again, thank you. I will be back later on this evening as well. A little bit earlier than normal because it's Champions League night. Interesting games tonight. Sadly, we're not in it. But hey, we can still watch. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day.